BBC Sounds, music, radio, podcasts. This podcast contains references to homophobic abuse, many of which are violent and may be disturbing. If you don't want to listen, please feel free to come back another day.
But what I wanted to say to you guys is the only reason that I'm even able to be up here talking about my gay self.
We've come a long way with queer rights. Sunday just gone was Gay Pride Day. Ollie from the band Years and Years spoke out at Glasgow.
It's because of all the people that have come before me that fought for the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people.
I find it very difficult to understand. Homophobic hate crime is still very common.
I believe that everybody here has the chance to change history.
30% of queer people say they've suffered homophobic abuse online. That's according to the charity Gallup. We've all seen homophobic abuse on the internet, and there's been a lot more in the news recently.
A Southampton theatre has been forced to cancel its last performances of a gay and lesbian play after some of the cast reported that they had been victims of a homophobic
attack on two men in Liverpool has left one of them with serious injuries. The men were harassed.
We tried to make them go away, but they didn't. The next thing I know is that Chris is in the middle of the bus and they are punching her.
Resistance, and I don't know how.
Thank you so much. Have a great festival. We love you. Goodbye.
My name's Lindsay Broadwell. I'm from the city of Leicester, and I've had homophobic abuse online.
My name is Holly Kybett-Smith, and I'm an out lesbian from the southeast of England. I think it's inevitable when you're in an online space that you'll experience some level of homophobic abuse. Whether you're gay or not, actually, just by virtue of a culture that makes gay seem like an insult.
There's a number of times I've spoken out about lesbian rights, about transgender rights. This brings a lot of people out of the woodwork who do not like what we are, do not like how we express ourselves, and think that we should either go back in the closet or just, stop existing altogether.
My name's James, and I experienced homophobic comments on a Facebook forum calling me gay.
I've had my fair share of homophobic language sent my way. Slurs that I won't repeat here, insinuations that I'm doing something wrong by being myself.
It's a reminder that despite the progress we've made, there's still a lot of aggressive attitudes hanging around.
By the way, today we're using music from the BBC Introducing Pride's Hot List playlist, which is hosted by Jaguar, and it's dropping on BBC Sounds next week, so watch out for it. Thanks to Jaguar for passing on her favourite tunes.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Have a lovely day. Nice to meet you, darling.
The police reckon that there are around 30,000 hate crimes committed every year in England and Wales. 9 out of 10 don't get reported to the police, and a lot of the abuse is happening online. So Bobby Norris is from the TV show The Only Way is Essex. And I'm with Bobby right now. Bobby, you set up a petition to make homophobic abuse online a specific crime. You've been calling it Bobby's Bill. How are you feeling about going into Parliament?
I'm so excited that today's finally here. It's been a long time coming, and I'm keeping everything crossed that I can make some kind of change with this bill. Like, honestly, there's so many people that get affected by online homophobia. It's not just me getting it, it's not just people in the public eye. Generally, there's thousands of people that are affected and message me and speak to me about it. And it's for people that haven't got a voice that I want to do this for.
So Bobby's going to be heading into Parliament in about an hour to chat through his petition with the government. It got over 152,000 signatures. Bobby, are you okay to stick with us through this one?
Completely, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You okay to stick with us on the podcast?
100%, yeah, definitely,
us, right?
yeah.
Right. So I'm Linda Adey, I'm with Bobby Norris. Cheers, Bobby, high five.
Thank you, hon.
Okay, Bobby, let's just start from the top. Have you ever been to Parliament before? Have you ever been a political boy?
I've never really been that political, I'll be really honest. I've been to an award ceremony here, but in terms of coming to debates and things like that, this is a whole new world for me.
How much homophobic abuse do you get on social media? Is it possible, if it's not too difficult, to go through any messages that you might remember receiving?
Yeah, definitely. I do get death threats. I've had people that have said that I should have acid thrown in my face, that I should burn in a fire, that they want to come to my house and stab me. I've even had people wish cancer on me, and I just feel like it boggles my brain how anyone out there thinks that's acceptable.
Is this change in the law to make homophobic abuse a specific crime really needed, considering how far we've actually come?
I would like to think it's not needed, but the fact I'm stood outside Parliament having to debate something that is so real and so intense, I'm very aware if this was coming to me at the age of 12, 13, 14, it would be a lot harder to accept. Thankfully, I'm that little bit older. That's not to say that age makes things 100% better, because you could be any age and still be affected by it. But I do feel a little bit stronger, but I just want to use my position and my voice to just try and make a little bit of a change.
I can't help but wonder if some of the issue is because you are a celebrity, you're a public figure, and that does come with part of the territory.
I choose to do what I do for a living. I am on TV, and some people just say, you've signed up for that life, you have to accept it. I disagree with, but everyone's entitled to an opinion, and everyone has opinions, and I'm so glad they do. But it's how you voice your opinion and what you class as an opinion. Like some people say, well, what about freedom of speech? There's freedom of speech, and then there's out and outright death threats to people. To me, that then crosses the line where it's not quite freedom of speech anymore.
And surely it is a really difficult thing to police. What kind of punishments and sentences do you think people should get for homophobic abuse?
See, again, I'm very aware and I'm realistic that it's going to be a really hard thing to kind of manage. And to me, it's baby steps at a time. So that's ultimately what this afternoon's about for me. I'm really looking forward to finding out what the MPs have to say.
Thanks so much, Bobby. Cheers for that. Can we have a quick chat with you when you come out of Parliament in a few hours? Is that all right?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
Whilst Bobby was in Parliament, I wanted to chat with someone who knows what it's like to receive a lot of homophobic abuse online. Let's nip into a studio.
Someone told me to sort of kill myself because of my sexuality. I got that a couple of times by a few different people.
Cameron Cole wasn't the last ever Big Brother in the UK. I remember watching him come out to his housemates on TV. He's had pretty much consistent homophobic abuse online since then. Abusive messages coming through on a daily basis.
The police are kind of tied with the way the laws are and stuff like that. They don't really have much room to kind of manoeuvre other than going around and telling someone off. And, you know, sometimes it's very violent. You know, it can be quite violent and, like we say, horrible, some of the stuff. And it's not just me. I mean, I know loads of people that have, you know, when I spoke about the homophobia I'd received earlier on this year, the amount of messages I got from people saying that they'd received similar things was shocking. And I think it just goes to show that the problem is a lot deeper and a lot more severe than people would probably like to think it is. And I think a lot of people are living in kind of a bubble that homophobia is dead in 2019, when in reality homophobia is alive, especially with social media now. It's a lot easier to be homophobic. It's still a big issue in 2019, and in my opinion it doesn't look like it's getting dramatically better.
How do you feel about Bobby's petition?
I think it's fantastic, and obviously it's garnered a lot of support.
So we're still waiting. I've been watching the debate for the past few hours now. The government will respond to the petition today, but they've already said a few things, including this.
Government recognises the harm that homophobic online messages can cause. We are working across government to challenge inequality and make the UK's online environment a safer place for everyone.
But not everyone in Parliament thinks that government is doing enough. Labour MP Angela Eagle's been supporting Bobby's petition, and she got quite emotional in Parliament last week.
We aren't going to get back in the closet or hide or be ashamed of the way we are.
Angela was also in the debate today, as well as Victoria Atkins, an MP. I'm going to try and chat to her now. Today's petition debate has just finished. You've just left. How did it go, Angela?
The minister was full of she emoted a lot about it and said she understood.
No one should have to face abuse or discrimination or harassment based on who they love.
But she then didn't say the government were going to do anything urgent to tackle it. She talked about a Law Commission report which isn't going to even report until 2020, and it would take further years then to get new laws on the statute books.
I understand the points that are made about the need to see action now as well as in the future. This is why the government is taking forward a number of commitments which will support a robust criminal justice response.
So I'm a bit disappointed that the government doesn't seem to think that this needs urgent action.
Was you expecting more from today?
I always like to hope.
We are funding the Police Online Hate Crime Hub, and the Hub is an expert police team which helps forces across the country to respond to hate crime cases effectively.
I think we might have to maybe do a draft bill ourselves and see if we can get more people to support it and do campaigning like that. Keep making the arguments, keep getting more people to hear about it and support it publicly so we can put the government under pressure.
Hello.
Hiya, Bobby.
I find it odd to think that we'll wait another year for it to kind of be looked at. I think something more urgent needed to be happen. Mental health is definitely at stake for some people that are getting this abuse. How can you turn around to some of the people that are suffering daily and say, well, wait another year? Obviously, I would have liked a better outcome than that. It doesn't sound like it was the best outcome that we could have had.
Thanks to everyone who's got stuck in with today's podcast, and a special thanks to Bobby. If you've been affected by any of the stuff we've spoken about on today's podcast, homophobic abuse online or in real life, please visit bbc.co.uk/actionline. There's loads of support up there. And if you want to get in touch with us, we're on the email, TheNextEpisode@bbc.co.uk, and we're using the hashtag TheNextEpisode. I hope you're loving the music too. It's all from the BBC Music Introducing Pride Hot List playlist. It's dropping on BBC Sounds next week, so watch out for it.
Skipping stones, staring at the sunbeams, watching waterfall, check once more your count is clean. Count your fingers, sit back down, recline and lean. Watch the Roman numerals and default back to daydream. Pictures on the wall, they mean nothing, I know. All that you read, all you write, all the things you learn, they may not ever take their turn, but you try. So many ideas whirling around your mind and soul. You find one more excuse to do nothing. It's something gazing in and out your face and strictly dazing. At least you're behaving, doing what you're told is what you're